Hey folks, welcome to Heeltoe Corner Club podcast. It's Marcus DiSabella, owner of Heeltoe Automotive. I've been providing Honda and Acura parts to Honda and Acura enthusiasts for the last 22 years now, coming up in February. 22 years, that's a long time. It's a time to have a lot of a lifetime if you're a young person, and by now, I'm not so young anymore. But I am here still, knee deep, neck deep in the Honda and Acura enthusiast market, and I'm coming to you on the Monday of Black Friday slash Cyber Week. And this is always kind of a high tense, high pressure time of year for me. Cyber Week is always a really kind of exciting time for us because it's when we sell a whole bunch of stuff. But I'll tell you what, the amount of preparation and lead up that goes into creating the sales and answering the people's questions and getting the email campaigns all ready to go, it's pretty intense. I'm getting better as time goes by, so hopefully, this year goes off without a hitch like it typically does. There's a lot of great sales to be had. But I'm not here to podcast about that. I'm here to tell you a little bit more about our YouTube channel. So YouTube is a platform that obviously people are familiar with as being a place to watch videos. And really only in the last couple of years have I realized the actual impressive potential that's available on YouTube, which is interesting because I've had a YouTube channel since about 2005. And we've had videos up there since that time. We've done usually videos here and there just showing people how exhaust systems sound, or things like how to do this or that. Really the videos that we've done in the past were prompted by answering a question to people that we maybe had to answer all the time, and so we wanted a way to quickly answer these questions for people without really having to say the same thing over and over again, I guess is really what I'm getting at. And I think that YouTube was really good for that sort of thing, or to provide sort of some product support for things that come up a lot. For example, we have a video on there about assembling top hats on a Tane suspension kit. It's been up there for ages and ages, and it's got so many views. Almost anybody that has a question about assembling top hats, we just send them a link to that video, and it helps them, right? But now, YouTube has gotten to be such a great platform for just basically entertainment. That happened to me when I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was a little too focused on selling parts and providing the customer service that we do, which I don't think was a wasted effort. But by not paying attention to what was going on YouTube, I think we missed a big opportunity in growth there. I realized this a few years ago. I did a little more in terms of videos, and things got a little better, but keeping up with the cadence of producing and putting out videos on a regular basis has just gotten very, very difficult. Our business has gotten busier over time, and it just means that there's less time available to do things that fall outside the line of what happens on a normal daily basis. Well, I've been trying to flip my mindset. The daily basis has to include doing videos, right? It has to include editing and posting and thumbnails and all these things to support a YouTube channel. And it's really just gotten to be a bit too much. I guess the long story short, what I'm really getting at here is my son, Aiello. His name is Michael, but his middle name is Aiello. We've always called him Aiello. He has shown an interest in not only our business. I mean, he's worked with us over the years, but sometimes has been kind of begrudging work that he's done. Pack this, make these little hardware kits, whatever. And he hasn't always enjoyed doing it. But now, he's in high school, he's got a car, he's got a girlfriend, he wants to earn money and spend money. So he's more and more willing to come into work and do jobs. And the more entrenched he's become here, he's starting to notice things like, hey, we should do a video like this. Hey, we should make a social post about that. And I thought, well, sure, let's do it, I guess, you do it, and he's started to get a little bit more proactive about these things up into a new apex that we reached just this last weekend. We did a video capture of some parts for our S2000, and he was part of the video. He helped film it. He was involved in the video, And then the following day, I walked out the garage and I just noticed him taking some badges off of his car. He had some fake Mugen badges that he put on his car last month. I mean, really just last month. And he's peeling them off. And I thought, why are you doing that? I thought, just went out there with the camera um, and recorded it, right? And really what it comes down to is that he was doing this work because he wanted to clean up the look of his car. He's done a few things to it. And one of the things that he did was put these fake Mugen badges on, which I had kind of a cringe moment when I saw him doing it, when he bought them. He bought them with his own money. They were reasonably decent looking quality, so I didn't really complain. I thought, hey, you know what? Kid needs to try this out. Hopefully he comes around and finds out that putting fake Mugen badges on a car with no actual Mugen stuff on it just isn't really in keeping with, what the real enthusiasts are doing. It's kind of a stuck-on thing that, somebody without a lot of money is going to do. I let him do it because, hey, what's the harm in badges? I even helped him put the front one on, which required bolting to the grill. And when they were on, they really didn't honestly look that bad. I mean, as long as he doesn't go overboard with the sort of thing, I felt like, I don't have to intervene. He'll come around. Well, to my surprise, he came around pretty dang fast. Like it was only a month later and he's peeling them off. I never said anything about it, right? But he said, I'm just trying to make my car a little less janky looking, take off the Fugen badges. So somewhere along the line of being involved in social media, he had picked up on the fact that, I've got my car in these pictures as subject of my social media posts, and I want to be proud of what I'm putting out there. And he's just not really proud of the fact that it's got these fake badges on it. To be perfectly fair to him, the car is kind of everything we do to it is kind of putting lipstick on a pig. It's a 2020 Civic Sport sedan, which Elise and I were all in favor of getting him this car early on because it was like, attention Civic. We can use this maybe to help with some marketing angles or whatever. Come to find out that the car has the naturally aspirated engine. We fell asleep on that one. I didn't research it closely enough, and unlike the sport hatchback, the sport sedan doesn't have the turbo engine. Okay, that kind of sucks. And then as we had the car a little bit longer, he became a little bit dissatisfied with some of the standard equipment that was lacking on the car. He wanted certain features that it didn't have. It had all these features that Elise and I thought were great, but, and he thinks are great too, but some of the other things, just like the sport angle and just the general look of it and the general suite of accessories or packages that it has on it, it just wasn't really all that tantalizing to him. He was longing for something a little bit more sporty, a little bit more with potential, and anyway, the car is serving its needs really, really well, but for the fact that we can't really do with it much with a marketing angle. There's just not that many parts available for it, and he's not completely satisfied with it. So ultimately, we're doing things to the car to try to spruce it up, and I said, hey, be happy with your car. You got to work with what you got. This is like your second car. It's not going to be like a really sweet, amazing car. You're not going to get an SI. You're 17 years old, and I'm not going to put that kind of power in your hands. He wants to take over the all-wheel drive TL. Same thing. Too much power, too much traction, too much potential to get in trouble. And I know what I was doing in cars between the age of 17 and 21, and I just want to try to limit that as much as I can for him. So I said, hey, man, you're just going to have to work with what you got. It's never going to be a fast car, but you don't really drive anywhere anyway. I mean, his school is a mile away, and he goes to his girlfriend's house, which is literally like 5 miles down the street. So he doesn't need any kind of like a real enthusiast car beyond the fact that he just needs to experiment and play with it and get a little bit better with it. Well, here we go. He's trying to get a little bit more involved with the YouTube. We're using that car as sort of part of the platform, and he got a little excited about the YouTube prospect. Getting a little bit more involved with the business, doing a little bit more with his car, doing more with our cars that we have in the shop. Me having to do a lot of this work on my own causes really a lot of work not to get done. And here we have him who is coming into the fold here and trying to really help contribute. So I just really want to kind of give a shout out to my kid for stepping up and wanting to be part of the action. We recorded a video talking about the front end on the S2000 and the JDM headlights that we put into it, and he helped me record it. I showed him how to use the video editing software one time, and then he completely edited a video that we made of him pulling the badges off his car, 100% on his own, no input from me. I mean, I showed him once how to do this, and he went start to finish and created an 8-minute video with fades and cutscenes in our intro and tweaking the audio and everything. Super impressed. So really, it's kind of given him a charge to try to take a hold of the channel and play an active role in capturing content. We captured some content just yesterday, and it was challenging. You know, I think we got to show him, I got a chance to show him that in theory, yeah, we're going to go out to the garage and video something. It sounds simple. And even when you do something simple like pull the badges off the car, you know, that creates a pretty simple video. Well, sometimes you get involved with some of these car projects and you end up with a lot of content. I mean, we ended up with a ton of content that needs to be sifted through and organized and turned into something as a reasonable watching video. So that's going to be kind of our next challenge. It's exciting for me that we've come to some high highs and some, you know, some struggle points early on in this adventure. But I really want you guys to be along for the ride. We want our YouTube channel to work. We want to share our lives with you, our garage life, our car life, our business practices, our personalities. I think that, you know, everybody in the world is unique, and I think everybody's got a voice. In particular, we've got this opportunity to share what it's like to have a car parts business, to have all these cars, to have a life basically, you know, built around it. I think a lot of people might glean some insights and some inspiration from some of the stuff that we're doing. With that note, you know, if you're not watching us on YouTube, I'm sure you probably are if you're watching this, but if you're not regularly watching us on YouTube, go ahead and give us a watch and give this podcast a follow also on your favorite platform. I'm still trying to sort out with, well, I should say, I'm not trying to sort out with iTunes any longer how to get my content on iTunes. For some reason, it's just not working, and I don't know what the hell to do about it. So anyway, long story short, thank you very much for consuming this piece of content. I'm going to get better about making these podcasts. I'm going to try to start my day out with this type of content just about every day. So there's always something for me to talk about. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and watch our other videos. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for something to talk about, anything like that, I am here and happy to do it for you. Have a great day. From Heeltoe Automotive, we're in your corner.